Joining us now is Mick Mulvaney, former White House Chief of Staff to President Trump and co-chair of Actum Strategic Advisors, also former U.S. Congresswoman Donna Edwards. I'll start with you, Mick. Well, did you stay up? I stayed up. I can't believe I stayed up. I was up for like 18 hours that day.
Yes and no. I was actually there Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, and couldn't handle it, so I came home Friday to watch on TV. I did stay up. So yeah, fascinating. Why it had to take that long is sort of beyond me. This is the sort of thing that you would think would get worked out in back rooms as opposed to on the floor. Keep in mind, they could have shut down the floor discussion at any time with a motion to adjourn with all Republicans, but they couldn't even agree on that. So it was pretty messy, pretty sloppy. But I think Kevin's right, which is that you judge it by how it ends, not how it begins. And
what do you think it means for I don't know if they're going to try and get anything done. It's the Republicans don't control the Senate. They can do other things. Obviously, if one person can challenge McCarthy's leadership, that doesn't necessarily mean that he's at risk, because all you can do is just bring it up for a vote. So I don't know how awful that is.
Joe, that rule was in place for 240 years. The only speaker not to face that specific rule was Nancy Pelosi. But you're right. They're going to be playing defense. There's not going to be a bunch of great Republican legislation passed into law in this Congress. There won't be any. They're going to do the same thing. When you are the minority party, which is you've got, say, control of one chamber, and the other folks have the White House and the Senate, like we do now, like the Democrats did back in 2018, you're playing defense. You're simply trying to stop the administration from putting their agenda into play. That's what you're going to see. Will there be knockdown, drag-out fights about the debt ceiling? Yes. Will there be knockdown, drag-down fights about spending? Yes. But there was going to be that anyway, regardless of these rule changes.
And Congresswoman Edwards, what do you think the Biden administration and the Democrats are going to try to accomplish over the next few years?
Well, I think clearly, given the divide among Republicans, I think that there will be opportunities for Democrats to really leverage their minority. I mean, that was certainly the experience when Nancy Pelosi and her caucus were in the minority, that there were times when, deals had to be cut with the Republican leadership, and, peeled off some Republicans and passed votes with Democrats, particularly on spending, on the debt ceiling, and those sort of must-pass pieces of legislation. Look, I think that the chaos that ensued last week is only going to continue in this Congress. I mean, it's not just the 6 who voted present, but it's a whole range of Freedom Caucus members where there is a lot of divide in the Republican Party, and some of it very personal. I was actually shocked to hear the personal attacks that were being made on the House floor. And if that's taking place in public, I don't know what's taking place in private. So I think it's going to make it very difficult for McCarthy to govern with the kind of unanimity that he's going to face on the other side, with Democrats clearly and squarely united.
Mick, what do you think the Biden administration tries to do at this point?
The power center will switch, just as it did. This is a replay of what happened to the Trump administration in the second half of the first term. That the power will switch from Congress, where the Republicans used to control during the first 2 years of Trump's term, both the House and the Senate. It'll move down the street to Washington, D.C. So what you'll see is a much more aggressive executive branch. You'll see more rulemaking, more regulatory action. You'll try to have the administration. They were already, as of the night of the election, Ron Klain had folks in his office, I'm sure, going, okay, what can we do now that we've just lost control of the House? So they're trying to figure out a way to push more and more of their agenda through with just executive branch action, the same exact thing we did. Yes, there'll be paralysis on the Capitol, but that's by nature when you've got a split between the House and the Senate. But the natural balance of things now is for things to move down Pennsylvania Avenue. You see a much more administrative-centric approach to the next 2 years.